You're listening to Science and Spirituality with Deepak Chopra.
So going beyond the quantum body, because my real interest is, of course, the quantum body, but what is ultimate reality? So as a medical student, of course, my notion of objective reality became everything that we perceive as human beings. But as a pre-med student, I was very interested in the perceptual activity of other biological organisms. And so I spent a lot of time with my pre-med teacher, private tutor that my father got me because I hadn't taken biology in high school. So I had a private tutor and he would take me frog hunting, dissecting frogs, looking at bees, looking at birds, and so on. So what I learned was actually quite remarkable in my pre-med years after high school, and my private tutors was much more interesting than what I learned in medical school. So I want to share some notes with you that I still have, and looking at other species and their perceptual realities. So here we go. Bees, honeybees and other bees see ultraviolet light, which is invisible to humans, and it helps them navigate flowers and find pollen. They also have a compound eye structure, giving them a panoramic view, but lower resolution than ours. But so bees can have a panoramic view of form and phenomena. There are birds of prey that possess exceptional visual acuity, allowing them to spot prey from vast distances. Some birds, like eagles, even see ultraviolet light like bees. Bats use echolocation, not vision, to navigate and hunt. They emit high-frequency sounds and interpret the echoes to build a 3D map of their surrounding. When it comes to smell, dogs have an olfactory sense millions of times stronger than humans, millions of times. They can use scent to track prey, recognize individuals, and even detect emotions. Snakes detect scents with their tongue, flicking it out to gather odor particles. This information helps them find food, mates, and potential dangers. Butterflies can smell flowers from miles away thanks to specialized scent receptors on their antennae. This helps them locate nectar sources and avoid poisonous plants. Electrical eels generate and sense electrical fields, allowing them to communicate, navigate, and detect prey and predators. Sharks can sense minute changes in water pressure, helping them detect prey even buried in the sand. Dolphins use echolocation, similar to bats, but can also communicate and navigate using sound waves. So when we study these diverse sensory systems, it's very obvious that the biological organism itself is a sensory system experiencing different bandwidths of what ultimately has to be quantum information. Because everything starts at the quantum field, which, by the way, is not even in time. So this leads to a very interesting conundrum. What is objective reality? All of science is based on objective reality. But what we call objective reality is a species-specific perceptual activity and what we as scientists call objective reality is the species specific perceptual activity that is human. What is ultimate reality? Well, ultimate reality has to be what makes all these other realities possible. And there has to be some underlying reality that makes all these different realities possible in the ecosystem of life. So what is that? Is that quantum? Well, as a model, as a mathematical model, we could say that. But then where do these models arise? They're created in the human mind, aren't they? And even as we describe all these different perceptual realities of other species, we describe them in terms of human experience. We describe them in terms of human experience. I think one point here could be very valuable, and that is that ultimate reality has to be a non-local. Non-local means not in space-time, formless, unimaginable, irreducible, fundamental field of possibilities. And that is what gives rise to these different species-specific perceptual experiences. It also raises another very fundamental issue, because all of our science is based on empirical facts. But aren't empirical facts just a human perceptual snapshot of experience? And where are all these experiences happening? In the inconceivable, in the imperceivable. The common ground of every perceptual activity, which is finite, every perceptual activity has a beginning, a middle, and an end. But the common ground of all these perceptual activities is awareness. So awareness has to be the infinite principle in which all perceptual activity occurs. The infinite principle and the infinite domain beyond space-time in which species-specific perceptual activities occur in time. So the timeless is differentiating itself into time-bound realities. Now, of course, this gets mind-boggling and almost incomprehensible, because in reality is incomprehensible. We try to make sense of it, but the gift of being human, even though we have these biological apparatus, the human biological apparatus is just a sensor. But the gift of being human is we can actually think about all these other possibilities, and actually even through technologies, learning from the experiences of other species, extend our range of experience into more and more possibilities in the virtual reality that we call everyday reality. This is the deeper meaning of Maya, the bigger illusion, the cosmic dream that is happening in the infinite, non-local, spaceless, timeless, formless, irreducible, incomprehensible, unimaginable self, the ground of that being, the ground of that cosmic being is also the ground of your being. And I think there's something very special about the human mind that has differentiated from the infinite consciousness that we can even begin to comprehend this. But the more we try to comprehend it, the more incomprehensible it becomes. And then the only choice is to surrender to mystery. The mystery can't be solved, I don't think, through the limitations of the human perceptual apparatus, of the human brain, or the human mind. After all, human species has only evolved over the last 200,000 years. And so I think if we were humble enough to acknowledge that reality is a mystery, then it doesn't matter what name we give it. God, the divine, inexplicable, formless, as Tagore said, in this playhouse of infinite forms, I caught sight of the formless, and so my life was blessed. So look at my hand right now. Is my finger touching the thumb, or is my thumb touching the finger? Is my finger feeling the thumb, or is my thumb feeling the finger? Or are they feeling each other? On a perceptual level, visual level, this is a form. This is a form, and this is formless, and this is formless. And the formless engulfs every form. And that formless is actually differentiating into species-specific forms and phenomena that we call the world. How we came to know this, or how, random mutations and natural selection got us here, is an oversimplification. I think we are engulfed in a divine mystery. And when we surrender to it, then there is a feeling of awe, of wonder, of humility, of magnificence. And that is the real spiritual experience. Wonder, awe, humility, and surrender to divine mystery. That is the real spiritual experience. And you don't have to be religious to experience that, because religion as a system of thought is never going to get us there. In fact, no system of thought, biological thought, physics, mathematics, which remains a mystery anyway, none of that is going to give us access to reality. Only in the stillness of the formless, which is modifying itself into infinite forms and phenomena, will we have some clue to what is happening. And we have no idea why it is happening, or in fact, even what it is that is morphing itself into these infinite forms and phenomena. Okay, so much for my random thoughts today. I just wanted to share what I was thinking, and I finally gave up thinking and said I just share my thoughts with you without coming to any conclusion. But it felt spiritual just sharing this with you.
Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, comment, and share. You can also visit deepakchopra.com for upcoming events, news, and books.